So now the skeleton frame has been done, what we now need to do is add these long cross members across the top of the roof, and these only go one way, so please make sure that you check this first. Now what I've done is the bottom one is on the correct way and the top one is on the wrong way. So what I'm going to do is hopefully bring my camera up slowly and you'll see that it fits into the top recess of the roof nicely, and the lip fits onto the edge of the roof nicely. Now if I move to the top one, it does fit nicely there, but when we move to the first roof truss, you can see, if I try and pan in very slowly, you'll see the hole misses that roof truss by 2 mil. And if I scroll across to the middle one is okay. Scroll across to the next one, it misses it by 2 mil. So hence why we say check these and make sure they're around the right way. So all I've got to do on that one is swap it around, turn it around the other way, and that will fit. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be placing one very, very closely to the edge of the side of the building, and what that will do is it will cover the gap between the roof and the side. We'll also want one at the very top around here, which will hold the roof at the top, and then we're going to put 2 centered and the top and the bottom of the roof truss. Now again, depending on which way you want your roof to go, if it goes that way, then you need to make sure that you put your roof trusses somewhere around there and somewhere around there on your roof. If you get it wrong and you fit your roof cross members and they show like this, then you're going to be in trouble. So again, depending on which way you want that, if you turn it around the other way, then the gap's going to be smaller here than there. Make sure you fit. So what I tend to do is I will fit the bottom one first and then the top one second, and then I'm going to measure the distance up a mark on the side of the roof with a pencil, that side and also that side. Measure the gap between my window frames to make sure they don't show through. Make a note or mark with the pencil down there and also on that side. I can then add some glue to the underneath of these cross members in the tiny little holes, fit them and let them dry. Now I've got an extremely long steel ruler, and what I use this for is to make sure that you get a nice flush cross member going across, so it's nice and straight. You don't want them all wonky. So again, take your time on this. It's making sure those roof members, truss members going across are the right way around. Once you've sussed that out and you've got your roof the right way around to how you're going to fit it, this should be good to go. So we will now fit those cross members. So just to show you, I've dabbed some glue on the end there, inside the hole, there, 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 and on the end. And I'm just going to lift it up and I'm going to place this one right on the very end. Use my steel ruler to get it straight and fit it in place. Okay, so that's the first cross member in, and I've glued it in, and I've got my steel ruler and I've placed it alongside, and you'll see it's nice and straight alongside that cross member. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold it there in place just for a minute or so for the glue to take bond, and then I'll move the ruler and then I'll do the top one. That's the bottom cross member done, and I've just gone up and done the top cross member. And again, don't forget, when you put this on, you might get a little bit of spillage of glue coming out the sides. So get your little small brush, damp it, and just wipe any excess glue around. Use your metal ruler to get a nice straight length and then let it dry. So the bottom and the top cross members have been fitted. What I've now done is I've just placed the roof section on top. Now we decide to go for the smaller depth here and the bigger depth up there, you choose. And then what I'll do is I will go on the side of the depot and I will mark with a pencil where the edges of those window frames come out. So I make sure that I put the next cross member somewhere around there and the other cross member somewhere around there. Do not want it going anywhere in between here. So I'll do that next and then we'll come back. As I mentioned, because we're putting the smaller end to the depot roof at this end, the gap between the bottom runner and the next runner up is 2.5 centimeters. So I've measured the distance both ends, glued it, used my straight line, and that is in the right place. And when I put the roof panel on, it's not going to be in the way of the window frame. Then I'm going to measure the next one up, measure exactly the same over there, and we'll fit that one. There we have, this side's done. The 4 cross members are now fully fitted and they're currently drying. And then what I'll do is I'll just bring up the roof panel to make sure that I haven't cocked up. Okay, so there's my roof panel just sitting on nicely, flush at the top and at the bottom, and as you can see there's no cross beams going in the way of the windows. I've just turned it around for you to see. Now the benefit of using a long metal ruler is that you can see, if you measure it correctly and use that metal ruler, you can get a lovely long straight cross member going across. It's not bowed, curved or anything, and it will certainly make it look nicer when looking from inside if you can get some good camera angles. And obviously that's gluing now in 4 sections on each cross member and 4 at the end, so 16 gluing places. That will become extremely rigid when it's done and those cross members won't be going anywhere. But again, take your time doing this. Those cross members and these roof trusses are extremely fragile, so do take your time, but the reward and the effort at the end looks like that. I'll give that 10 or 15 minutes to dry, and then what I'll do is I'll turn the depot back round and we'll complete this side. So there you have it. There's the second side done as well. They've been measured, 2.5 centimeters between there, 4.5 centimeters between there, and I'm going to let them dry, and that completes the fitting of the cross members. For those of you that bought the RLL6203RS SF, which is the skeleton frame, this is where we come to the end of your depot build. The rest of the building you'll be cladding in your own materials. I hope you've enjoyed building it. For those who have the full kit with the card, we'll be continuing on with the video tutorials, and our next one is to start with the exterior cladding of the card, and we'll do that now.